There we go. So in this presentation, since 2022 is just beginning and everybody's talking about goals, it is an appropriate time because everybody creates a new vision for themselves in 2022, generally speaking. And I think that's what we all do. It's just natural to feel that energy from the new year coming in, and everybody's excited about it, So, and that regardless of whether it's with Zalise or what it is, everybody wants to move forward in the next year, put 2021 behind them for whatever reason. So we're going to be. I sent you a little worksheet to work off of for mastering goals. That's for your work. That's a worksheet for you to sort of learn how to set your goals correctly. We talked about this last year. We're going to hone in on a little bit better this year. So your vision for 2022 is important. And I like to say that I call this the Emerald Coast Tribe, this little meeting here, because I think we are a tribe. Tribes are like-minded people, like vocabularies. As you learn Zalise, you learn the vocabulary of Zalise, you learn the vocabulary of business. So, and remember this, guys, you don't have to go out and get people. Your vibration, your vibe will attract you to your tribe. And I think that's pretty catchy. So anyway, that's what I tell you who said that was Tim Sales, and Hal knows that. So it's pretty cool. But remember this, guys, the most important words that you say in your whole life, are the words you say to yourself. Your self-talk is critical to what you're going to do. The other thing I think is and these are things you've always heard before, but we're going to expand on them even more, is we become what we think about. Remember, guys, you become what excites you, what your vision is. And you need this year to create a vision, a true vision for you of what you want. Create a vision. And that's so important because you have to see it. And I'm going to dive a little bit into the neuroscience with this, because this is scientifically proved. It's not just something that you wish out of the space, that when your goals come true. And I want you to see yourself, each of you guys, as being truly capable human beings you are. Everyone on this call is very, very special to me and very, very special to other people in your life. So you are truly, truly very special people in what you're trying to create in your vision for the year, whatever that is. But if you don't think about your vision with passion and intention, your vision will not become a reality. It doesn't matter. The brain wants clarity, and it's guaranteed. If your vision for this year is not clear, if it's really not clear, and we're going to talk about that a little bit, then your vision is not going to come true. And if you don't have a clear vision, what happens is the pressure of doing something, whether it be a little bit of pressure or a lot of pressure, it'll work and break down your personal vision and intention. So that's why the clarity is important, because the brain is set in a negative tone all the time. We are built that way. And that's really, really important to know. Now, here's an interesting fact. If you don't have an attitude of gratitude in the beginning, and this is research based on the latest research from these universities here, North Carolina, Harvard, Southern Cal, the brain, the neuroplasticity, the brain growth of a positive attitude starts first and only first with gratitude. So what I want you to do this year is I want you to, based on what you told me just recently on your goal setting and your focus goal, I want you to start your year off this year with the attitude of gratitude. And I want you to list 1, 2, 3 things on your goal list, on your goal sheet. What are you grateful for? The other day when Hal and Lisa visited us, I was just grateful and just grateful that they were here. I mean, I was truly grateful. Personally, I'm grateful for the house we have, the home we have, my children, my grandchildren, health, all of y'all as friends. You need to acknowledge the attitude of gratitude. And if you don't do that, the research shows that you do not start building positive neural pathways to overcome the negative pathways in our brain. So with that being said, let's talk about the rules of goal setting, because everybody has the same rules. I'm not making these rules up. These are the rules Dr. Helmstetter does. Doc Bob Proctor's got rules. Stephen Thompson's got rules. They're all the same rules, basically. So the question to ask yourself is, why in the course of 2022 will one person be more successful than the other? Why? Because the rules are the same for just about everybody. The first thing I want you to acknowledge is that goal setting is a skill. It is something you develop. And the difference in somebody who's successful and not successful at their goals is the person who is successful has created the skill and worked at developing the skill of setting goals. It's a skill that you learn how to do. You know, when I was in the military, one of my goals was to make rank. That was a big deal. I really wanted to do that. And I did that. And so it was a goal. It was something I did. I, did the things I thought was necessary to make rank in the military. And that was important. So remember, but I learned how to do that. I learned how to do that in the military setting in that way. And Brian can relate to that. You want to have, it's something you learn how to do. Anyone can learn how to set goals. No one here is excluded from setting goals, but goals must be believable. They have to be believable to you. It can't be a goal that says, I want to go on a vacation this year. It has to be very, very clear. You have to believe this goal, whether it be a Zalise goal, whether it be your personal goal, it has to be believable to you. If your brain doesn't register it as believable, you won't have it happen. Goals must be set with intention. You have to have this serious intention for a goal. Now, let me talk about this week I do a to-do list every week. And I'm not talking, and think of your goals often. I'm not talking about a to-do list. Like every week, I work on a to-do list, and I just write out Sunday night, I'll write out the things I need to do, and I'll go accomplish that goal. For example, I wanted to go to a monogramming place and do it. I got a Blue Angel hat I want to get ready for this year and have fun with. So I wrote down, must go to Wings and Things. And then I need to go to Wings now. I didn't put a date on it that day. I just said this week. And it really didn't get to it for a couple of weeks. I kept resetting that goal. So anyone can, but that's not a long-term goal. That's not a goal. That's a short-term to-do goal. I think maybe Bob Proctor talks about that as a goal, primary type A goal or something like that. But my point is that you can learn to set goals, and you have to think of them often. But that's not the kind of goal I'm talking about. Those are really goals that everybody has to do every week. But what I do want you to think about is that small goals, biting goals in chunks, like we're talking about with the focus goal, are more important than big goals. For example, start with small goals that are attainable. And just what I said, the goals that are for one day, 1 week, 1 month, a to-do list is a small goal, and it's a goal of accomplishment, but it's not something that I want in 2022. I know I'm going to do that. I know I'm going to accomplish that goal because it's next week, next day, but it's not a goal that stretches me. And what I'm wanting you to do with a focus goal is think of something that stretches you, but it is believable. It has to be believable. And the first step to getting this right is actually developing a good plan for it. So remember this, goals. The first rule here is all goals must be written down. Now, when Hal and Lisa came here, one of the things that I focused on was I actually, Hal drove up in the Jeep that I won. And that was the goal. That is a very big goal for me. So, my goal is, and I wrote down that focus goal. My goal is to get that Jeep by 31 March. That's when I want that goal. That written goal down creates focus for me. Energy. My brain knows and receives a clear picture and a sharp picture of that Jeep that he's got. And I want that Jeep. So I'm going to work hard trying to get that Jeep. Am I going to be upset or change. No, that's my goal. That's my focus. Okay. And you need to focus your goal that's clear, just like that new beautiful white Jeep that Hal's got. Okay. You need to focus. It has to be clear to you. Your next 90 days, this focus goal has to be something that you focus on, and you must write it down. That's why I sent you that sheet. Unwritten goals by research only have a 3 to 5% success rate. That's it. You want to be in the 3 to 5%. Written goals have a 70 to 90% accomplishment rate. So if you don't write your goals down, you'll never feel your accomplishment. You have to write that goal down. Written goals create the pen on paper, create an intention, and an intention is a big deal. It creates emotion. It also creates imagination. The imagination is so critical in moving our brain forward with neuroplasticity and growth of the brain. If without imagination, you have stasis in the brain, and stasis is when you're not learning. And when you're not learning or not creating or not emotional, no intention, that's when the brain becomes static. Don't ever discuss your written goals with a critic. Don't ever talk to someone that is not, is a critic about it. And let me give you an example of that. So we went to dinner with some people the other night, and one of the people that we were with said, I want to lose 100 pounds this year. And hey, that's a great goal, man. I think let's do that. Put GLOW plus everything we've talked about and all the other things that we're doing here. I think you can do that. And then one person said, a friend said, I just think that's too much weight for you to lose. Now, that person that said that didn't mean to be mean with that. That's just what she said. Okay. That came out, but she's not in his corner. She's not on his list of people that want him to lose 100 pounds. So that's what I mean. These critics that are in your life can be just friends. They can be family. They can be the TV. They can be the news. They can be anything that stops your subconscious mind from moving forward. And you are going to make a Herculean effort this year in changing your brain, literally rewiring your brain this way. And you don't want anything to stop you. That's just inadvertent. And that's what that kind of remark can do. I just went walking with a guy here in the neighborhood, and he knows I don't like to talk about politics. I don't. And I just let him talk, but I'm not going to talk about anybody bad. I'm not going to talk about another politician bad. I do not want to give out any negative vibes. So I just let him talk, but I'm careful as to what I'm actually wanting to lead him in a conversation with. So be very, very careful with who you share your goals with. Now, one of the critical things about written goals, guys, is that they need to begin with the word to. My goal is to. Very clear, very specific. Your brain clearly visualizes a goal written this way. My goal is to. Becomes real to your brain. It engages your senses. It engages everything that the brain wants to offer to be clear. So my goal is to have that Jeep Cherokee L Overland by 31 March. Okay. I've clearly visualized that goal is real. That's real to me. I see that vehicle. I smell that vehicle. This focuses your energies of your thought to your goal. Without that clear visualization, you don't have any neuroactivity. And with no neuroactivity on it, you don't have any focus. Your concentration is less, and you have less intention. So creating neuroactivity, real, true neuroactivity, creates more focus, more concentration, and more intention. And you have to ask yourself on your goals, what is your intent this year? What is your intent to do in your life? What is it you want to do? What is it you want to concentrate on? Another rule of goal setting is all goals must be dated. That gives the brain specificity and clarity. So 31 March, that's a specific date. It's clear. There's no it's on the calendar, right? Dates give your brain new neural pathways. This is all science. It's not me making this up, okay? This is what you're trying to do. Guys, when we're born, we have no neural pathways. We're born into the world. Then what happens is we have to survive, and our brain sets into the fight or flight mode for the first 4 or 5 years of our life. And what happens is that we have huge amounts of negative neural pathways. That's survival. And that's what we have to do as people. However, what happens is that the positive neural, you're born with negative in the first few months of your life with negative neural pathways, no positive. Okay, very, very few positive. Think about a baby. How many months when you have that baby, does that baby smile? It doesn't smile for several. You don't get much reward for your work raising a baby. All the pathways are on survival. However, finally, a positive pathway builds itself in, and a baby's brain develops and it smiles. But negative neural pathways are more powerful than positive because that's the way we're built. But your brain will tell it what it will do, what you tell it to do. It has no choice. It has to do what you tell it to do. Now, your brain thinks the deadline is the goal. It doesn't know any difference. If you see you will not reach the goal, guys, be easy on yourself and change the date. But if you don't write the date, the brain doesn't know any different. It only does what you tell it to do. And if you do hit the date, great. If you don't, you set a new goal. The brain sees that as a new goal. When you change your date, the goal is the same, the date's different. That's it. The brain recognizes that. And don't worry, don't beat yourself up if you need to adjust your goal. You don't beat yourself up. I gotta go easy on yourself with that. But however, neuroplastic wise, brain wise, if you fail to reach your goal, this is neuroscience, 3 times, and you don't adjust your goal, when you fail to reach your goal, you'll quit on that goal. So how many people in Zalise quit on their goals? How many people quit on any goal? Doesn't matter whether it's Zalise or not. That's proven science, okay? So you have to write it down, you have to date it, and you have to readjust it if you don't get it. It's okay. It's okay. You don't beat up yourself here. But the reason you quit is neurological. It's as scientifically sound as anything. When people quit, it's predicted they're going to quit because they didn't follow the rules of goal setting. The brain will quit working on what you're not focused on. And when you do not have the intention, it just will quit working on it because it's going to do what you tell it to do. Now we're talking about the subconscious mind here. The positive, the brain itself, and the part that we're actually building is what's called the prefrontal cortex, the front part of the brain. That's the part you want to change and build. The amygdala, which is the part when you're a baby that's squawking all the time, that's the part that's actually in today's research is growing bigger, faster than the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain that's positive. So you have to work on this relentlessly. If you don't, your negative neural pathways will take over and you'll quit. And you won't even know why you quit. You'll just stop. If you remember in this presentation a while back, I did a little bit of talking about a guy who had a meeting to get up to in the morning, and he set this meeting for Saturday morning. And then when the alarm clock went off, he knew he had a meeting. He just hit the snooze button. He went to sleep. And the reason he did that was a negative neural pathway that took over. He knew he should have made up the meeting. He knew he should have made the meeting, but he didn't. Well, that's what happens to people. They don't even know why they quit. They just quit because their pathways tell them that's what you're going to do. Your negative is much stronger than your positive. You're outnumbered 3-1, negative to positive. But be flexible with your goals. Go easy on yourself. Don't be hard on yourself. Now, a goal should stretch you. It should make you uncomfortable a little bit, but it should not. It shouldn't be something like I'm going to go to Australia next. Well, we actually talked. My guy I was walking with today talked about going to Europe next year. I'd love to go to Europe next year, but there's too many. For me, there's too many restrictions right now, and so I'm not going to do that. But the goal's still there. But I know that I've got to move it to another year. And so you've not failed if you don't hit your goal and your date. And I want you to think about that. You're not failing when you don't hit your goal. You're just resetting a goal. It's not failure, okay? A lot of people get that confused. They think, well, if I don't hit that goal, and then I don't want to set a goal because I don't want to fail. Well, that's not true. You want to set a goal because you want to move towards something. If you don't hit it, you just move it to another day. And here's something else in goal setting that's left out. You have to include the obstacles and the action step. And what an obstacle is what are the hurdles, stumbling blocks to my focus goals? This week, my goal to get that vehicle is 31 March. However, what are my stumbling blocks and focus goals during the week that keep me from doing that? Is it not selling a product? Is it not sponsoring someone? Is it not, what is in my way? Think of the ant going through, taking something from one place to the next. They go around it, they get through it, but they get around that stumbling block. You have to identify what's keeping you from getting from point A to point B. What is the hurdle? Identify it. If your goal is to be an area ambassador, really be honest with yourself. Don't kid yourself. Be honest. What are my hurdles? What are my stumbling blocks? If the more honest you are with yourself, the more honest you are with someone about your goals, the easier it is for you to get through these hurdles or stumbling blocks. And you do that each week for your focus goal. Now, we're not talking about every to-do list goal. We're talking about your focus goal, your 90-day goal. And then each week you say, what steps did I take toward my focus goal this week? What did I actually do? Did I do anything? Did I not do anything? What steps did I not take? What steps did I take? Ask yourself the question again in that same goal. Is my goal clear? Is it clear? Because if it's not clear, it's not real. This goal has to be real to me. Ask yourself that question. If it's not real, guys, it's not going to happen. It has to be that clear to you and real to you. Okay. If you remember back, I sent you a program. I think everybody got one that says, hey, without further ado, I want to announce the next area ambassador. And you know, and that was Thelma Champion. And each one of you got that. And the reason is that I want that to be real for you. I want you to hear what it is when Stephen announces your name and stage, and you go across stage as a new regional ambassador, a new area ambassador, and a new national ambassador, new presidential ambassador. That has to become real. The reason I sent that to you, and will continue to do that, is that makes it a step closer to being real to you. So if you don't clearly see the goal and the goal is not real, it's called a wish. And you can wish all you want, and it's just a wish. It's never, never real. Now, here's what the brain also recognizes. You can set a goal, but if you don't move on it with an action step, it isn't going to happen because the brain recognizes the action step as real to moving toward the goal. So it creates what you're doing is you're building a pathway that's layered on top of each other. And the action step goes on that and says, hey, the brain says, hey, this is real. I acted on that. And so the action step is, it may be just to sell a bottle of CBD that week. It may be just to have one customer that week, but that is a positive action step that moves you toward your goal. That may be when you plan a vacation, that you're planning the vacation and you call the travel agent, and as Susan said, that's 9 months down the road, you're taking this big vacation. How much planning, how much realism does that planning that vacation become? That vacation becomes real as you plan that vacation. People plan vacations more than they plan their businesses. So think about that. Action steps to create that positive pathway. So every day, every week, do something toward your goal, and that's an action step. And if you want to achieve, guys, you must believe. People who believe and act toward their goals have stronger neural pathways than people who don't believe and act toward their goal. So that belief to your brain is an action step. That is another layer on that pathway you're building. You're building another positive pathway, and you're making it thicker. It's like you're going over that pathway once, then you're going over it again. And action steps can be physical and mental movement, meaning that a physical would be I've sold a bag of glow to someone. That's a physical movement. A mental movement is you're thinking about it. You're mentally moving an action step toward the goal. Mental is bigger in the beginning in this business. Everybody here is in the beginning of this business. If you think you've been in this business a long time, I've been a dentist for 40 years. That's a long time for something, okay? I've not been in this business very long. This is a baby step in this business as far as getting it going. I'm an infant in this business. And I don't know if you think you've been in a long time and for some reason you don't think this has happened for you or whatever reason, guys, give yourself a break on that. I've been a dentist for, in some capacity 40 years now. That's a long time to learn anything. All right. So in the beginning, guys, the mental action steps that you're taking toward your goals are more important than the physical. It's more important that you get your attitude right than it is to even sell a bottle of this or sell a bottle of that. Now that's an important step, but mental is a big deal. So now let's talk about the focus goals that I want you guys to think of in the next 90 days. Focus goals are the 3 most important goals to you, whether it be Zalee's goal, whether it be not a goal. I call these seasonal goals, and we're in the winter season, January, February, March. These are the most important goals to you, and in the next 90 days, and prioritize them. Goal number 1, goal number 2, goal number 3, and be honest with yourself on this. Be very brutally honest. This is what I really want in the next 90 days. Is this what I want? And monitor your focus goal weekly. Don't do it and monitor it weekly. I'm going to monitor myself in moving toward that vehicle. That's called the 1% rule. Take 1% of your time, 15 minutes a week, and review the progress on your focus goals. These 3 goals. Where are you in that goal? Where is that goal with you? How true is that goal to you? Be aware that you are aware of your goals. Let's say it again. Be aware that you are aware. That's called mindfulness, guys. And mindfulness is a big deal. The best performers are mindful of what they're doing and where they're going. So be aware that you're aware of your goals, and make a choice each week to think about your goals, your focus goals. It's repetition, repetition, repetition. You're thinking about your focus goals every week. This creates retention. This finally creates this new positive neural pathway. It's sort of like going out and talking to people about Zalees. In the beginning, you didn't even think about it. Now you think about it, you're keyed in for it. You have a pathway to say, I want to talk to so-and-so about it. I want to sponsor somebody, or however. That positive pathway is being laid down. So some things to focus on now is no more than 3 focus goals. I want your goals to be very, very honed in. Prioritize them, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Remember this, guys. If your focus goal doesn't take grit, it's not a goal. Okay. It didn't take any grit for me to go to the monogramming place and take my hat. That wasn't a focus goal. Okay. Grit is something we're going to talk about this year. You got to have grit. You got to take emotion in it. It has to be emotional. If it's not emotion, you're not engaged emotionally in whatever focus goal you want, it's not going to happen. Okay. You've got to be persistent in it. This is very, very important for your focus goals. You got to figure out what it is, and then you got to have the grit to do it. You got to have the emotion to do it. You got to have the persistence to do it. And what we're going to talk about next month, you got to have self-belief. And this is where everybody breaks down, in self-belief. That goal needs to be realistic to you. A focus goal is one you will visualize and believe that you will manifest in 90 days. A focus goal is one you will visualize and you will believe you will manifest in 90 days. Manifestation of that goal. Okay. Hal said it this past weekend at the house. Jenny Lusby and Tony manifested their whole lifestyle. Okay. I don't want you to manifest a whole lifestyle here. I just want 90 days for you to build something that's you're focused on. Now, what are the problems to setting goals? The most common goal setting, and you need to identify, this is why we identify how to set goals. Now we're going to identify the obstacles to setting goals. And the first one's just getting started. That's a problem, right? A lot of people don't start. They never start. Procrastination. I'll do it tomorrow. And then putting it off and then get started again. That's a problem in goal setting. Not writing down goals is a problem. Setting goals too big or too far away. You know, guys, you want a goal that's realistic. Setting goals not big enough. That's a problem. Not lack of clarity is a problem. And so getting these things in your mind to understand why this goal is important is a big deal. And these are the most common obstacles, the most common problems to setting goals. Just like we identified how to build a goal, we also identify the obstacles. These are the obstacles. Another big obstacle to goal setting, to having your goals come true, is lack of external support and motivation. Guys, if everybody needs a mentor, everybody, we all need it. Find you a mentor. You need people who support and believe in your goals. You know, when we go to a Zalise function, people have like minds who support and believe in our goals. Our upline believes in our goals. People, my brother doesn't believe in our goals. Okay, hard to say that sometimes, but it's true. You know, I got brothers that they're okay with this, but when we talk about our goals, it's okay. Whatever. They're not behind it. They don't support and believe in our goals. And remember this, guys, in the next 5 years, you will become who you surround yourself with. You know, guys, the vibrations, the true personal vibrations that you give off, other people pick up. You ever been around somebody and go, oh, that vibe just not good there. I don't know. Yeah, that's true. Whatever vibrations you're giving off is what other people receive. And when they receive that, they know that your goals you surround yourself with those kind of people, those vibrations are real. And those are good vibrations that you want. So lack of self-belief or negative programs. This is something that's also in the way. Lack of self-belief. Saying to yourself, I can't, I shouldn't, I couldn't, what if, maybe, I never. It goes on and on and on list. There's a book by Dr. Hempstetter called don't say to talk to yourself, but how to stop negative programming, negative speaking. And this is where it's at. This list goes on and on. When trying to lose weight, I'm too heavy. I could never not eat that piece of cake, things like that. These are all negative programs. You don't even know. These are obvious, but most of them are not obvious. Most of these negative programs are buried into you and you don't even know you're saying them or even doing them. So listening to the negative opinions of others is a big deal. Negative waves, negative vibes. These are all problems. And like I said, one of my favorite movies is Kelly's Heroes, when Oddball just can't stand he's negative all the time, you know, and Donald Sutherland just is always cool and has positive vibes. But remember this, guys, dream stealers and goalbusters are everywhere. They're everywhere. Don't think they're not. They're everywhere. And they'll steal your goal. They'll steal your dream away from you and you won't even know what happened. You'll just look up and go, it didn't happen. So don't let the other negative opinion of others drown out your own inner voice. It is your inner voice. This is why it's so special. You guys are on a call. You're very special people because you're taking the time to listening to your inner voice. Something is telling you, hey, this is a good idea. I don't know why I should take a Thursday night at 7 o'clock once a month and listen to somebody talk about this stuff. Something's telling you, your inner voice is telling you that. But don't compare yourself to others. That's a fatal mistake people make all the time is, you know, your goals, your dreams are yours. So make sure that you don't listen to other people, okay? But remember this, a clear vision backed by dreams, by your good plans, your dreams, your goals, gives you tremendous feeling of confidence and personal power. So when you feel good about something and you write your goal down, you hear your goal, you see your goal, and when it's repetition, I got to spell that right. And when you look inside yourself, you awaken with that feeling of power that your dreams are real, and it's a tremendous feeling when that happens. It's a tremendous feeling. You guys know what I'm talking about. When you know that what you're doing is correct. and that you want to do. That it's a great feeling to do that. So identify the obstacles to successful goal setting. Remember, identify these obstacles. It's important. Listening to the negative opinions of others, lack of external support and motivation. Those are all things that get in your way. So finally, what do you do? What do you do? What do you do in 2022 to start with your goals? Well, first of all, you start and you monitor your self-talk. For the next 30 days, the next 90 days, listen to what you say to yourself. What it is. What is it? Do I say I can't, I shouldn't, I won't, I couldn't, whatever, and then edit it out. Remember this, guys. Everybody knows this. A goose can fly north and south, but it can't go east-west. Okay, and the reason is instinct. Humans have the ability to edit. You have the ability to edit your self-talk. If you find yourself saying something negative, I can't, I won't, I shouldn't, whatever, stop it. Just stop what you say and edit it. Just cut it out right there. Instead of, I can't do this, it's, well, maybe I need to look at this another way, So read this book. Read this book, a short 60-minute read by Dr. Helmstetter. Listen to it on Audible, called Negative Self-Talk and How to Change It. It's by Dr. Helmstetter. It's a really short, real book. I think it's a great book, though, because it sort of puts everything here I've talked to in a little bitty 60-minute thing. Dr. Helmstetter has a series of audio tapes called Self-Talk Plus. Get that, listen to it. It'll cost you a couple $100 if you decide to get it. You can get that. You can listen to it. Guys, listen to Emerald Coast Self-Talk for Elise that I've designed. This is proprietary information that I've provided for you. It's we call intellectual property. This is for you. It's for you to share with other people if that's what it's for. Listen to Emerald Coast Self-Talk. And I'm developing and have developed several different programs for this. And Emerald Coast Self-Talk for Elise. It's a program that I've designed that helps you build. If you have someone you've enrolled and they want to build a business, they have to get their self-talk correct. This is what you share with them. You share the Emerald Coast Self-Talk for Elise. It talks about how you're getting your self-talk correct so you can build a Elise business. If that's not what they want to do, don't send it to them. It's okay. If you got it, it's for you. The second thing is Emerald Coast Self-Care for Mastering Goals. Guys, this is important because self-care is about self-care. It's about taking care of you first. Guys, if you're in an airplane has a problem, the stewardess is going to take care of herself first. Then she's going to take care of you. But she's going to make sure she's okay, so then she can take care of you. You need self-care because self-care is you taking care of you. And that's what I've developed this for, so that you can take care of you. And I've got a program called Mastering Goals. These are the programs that you'll get. If you haven't got them, let me know. For Self-Talk for Elise, there's one a month coming out. For Mastering Goals, there's usually one a month. This year will be the completed series of this, and we'll start over next year. And then I'm developing, if you want to develop a weight loss business or you want to just lose weight, Emerald Coast Self-Care for Weight Loss is a program designed for weight loss. You can provide that for your people that want to lose weight with Glow Plus Self-Care. We've talked about that in the past, or you can just simply provide it for you. Dr. Helmstetter's work has 40 years of research backing it. It takes a while to get those new pathways, but it works. And then lastly, every month, what I'm launching is the Emerald Coast coaching sessions. They're about 1 to 3 minutes long. You'll get it on your text. It's small, so you can get it on a text, and you'll see one of those a month come to you. You just listen to it. It's 1 to 3 minutes long. It tells you a little bit about, getting the attitude that you need to live life. Remember this, guys, your self-talk creates your reality. If you are not relentless, if you are not repetitive in your self-talk, and that's what changes your self-image, relentless, because the world is relentless in their ability to keep you in that box. TV is called programming for a reason. It wants to keep you fixed. It wants to keep your self-image where it wants your self-image, not where you want it. You have to be relentless in this pursuit to change your self-image and to be able to be successful in whatever endeavor you choose to do, be Zalise or whatever. If you're not relentless in your goals and your repetitive self-talk of what you want to hear, somebody else is going to change it for you. That's a guaranteed fact. So in 2022, the things to give up is, one, listening to the negative opinions of others. Just give it up. Find some lack of external support. Find someone to support you. Stop your negative self-talk and we're going to work on your negative self-beliefs and your self-doubts. These are things you want to give up in 2022. Your negative self-beliefs, your self-doubt, your negative self-talk. You want to give up. You want to find support for yourself, and you do not want to listen to negative opinions of others. So with that being said, I'm going to stop the recording. And yeah.